Alright guys, in this video we are going to have a look at, this is footage from CarbonPixel, whom I'm also not subscribed. I'm going to subscribe right here. CarbonPixel was lucky to try out server meshing. Now that's not my case. I have not been able to try server meshing because every time, and I'm not joking, every time there is a test, it happens during my nighttime, at night. So I've never been able to try the server meshing when we went to Pyro. I've never been able to try the server meshing tests when there were 1,000 players, right? Because every time they start a test, just when I go to bed, and then the test finishes after I finish taking my daughter to school. And then I come back and say, yes, I just have maybe 1 hour or two to try server meshing. Nope, finished. Or sometimes I just get in, and there's like 10 minutes, and then it's over, right? So that's why I have not been able to do that. But a lot of people have, and so we are going to be reacting here to CarbonPixel. So let's check out here what's their impression of server meshing. So that's the test from the 19th of September. So the first test, yeah, I remember, right, was like 1 server and 100 players per server. So it's basically what we currently have right now. Oh dear, that doesn't look very good. As we can see that they didn't look very happy out there. Yeah, there's really not much going on here, right? So probably going to move to the next test, which is 3 servers and 500 players. Wow, that's a lot of people at New Babs. Oh, this is cool. That's a lot of people at that's one of the things that is probably not going to be very practical, right? But that's definitely one of the things that I've been wanting to see in Star Citizen, right? It's to see all these players going around by their business and just doing stuff, taking the metro maybe. Maybe we'll hear them talk also in their microphones, right? Look at that, the that's what's in the MRT. The tram has so many people. That's what is this guy doing in? What was this guy inside the seat? And everybody's going to leave one by one. I'm gonna have to make sure that the door stays open for long enough. I'm waiting for elevators as well. Oh my gosh, players queuing at Spursport terminals. That's what I was afraid of. But at the same time, I don't think you have to do that since we now have our personal hangars. So you can still call your ships in the personal hangars, unless they've been using 3.23 tech here, just like in the past test they were using 3.22 tech. But I think that they were using the 3.24 tech in this case. Some people are very happy, obviously. What is this? Some of those subscriber flares, just ridiculous. My gosh. Oh no, not Pico. We don't want to see Pico.
To the ASOC.
So finally, they were able to get into their hangar. Awesome. So once again, and that's one of the things that it's one of the things that concerns me, right, when it comes to server meshing, is that so far they still have not been able to let players try out missions. I suppose that's because when you go from one server to another server, the missions get abandoned. And since we're now transitioning seamlessly from server to server, it just doesn't work because you'd be inside one server, in one area that's like a server, your mission will be activated, but as soon as you go to another area that's another server, without knowing it's another area that's another server, then the mission will be automatically abandoned. So that's why these missions are not enabled, but I really hope that they are going to be finding out the answer for this solution sooner than later, because when Star Citizen 4.0 is up, and there will be server meshing, they are going to have to find a way to let us keep our missions. So they could very well having only 2 servers. So 1 server for Stanton, which is the case right now, what we have right now, and 1 server for Pyro. And we'll just be transitioning from 1 server to another one. We're at a wormhole. That's maybe what they're going to go for the immediate future when 4.0 will be out, because they could be making sure that the missions that we have in Pyro stay in Pyro, and the missions that we have in Stanton stay in Stanton, and so the 2 mission systems are not interlooped into one another, so you don't have a mission that's starting in Stanton and takes you to Pyro yet. Maybe this will be coming in the future when finally they figure out this issue of how to get missions to be transferred from 1 server to another, but as of right now, it's just not something that's possible, right? And so that's how it's going to be working. I think that we're not going to be seeing 1,000 players immediately. We're still going to be seeing a lot of these tests in the preview channel, and I think that they probably do have the capability to release Pyro with just 1 server in Stanton and 1 server in Pyro, 100 players in Pyro, 100 players in Stanton, or maybe just 50 and 50, because what if all the 100 players of each server go to the same server? That's 200 players per server. Is Star Citizen right now capable of handling 200 players into a single server that encompasses an entire star system? I'm not so sure, right? So these are all questions that need to be answered for how server meshing is eventually going to be deployed. Now, these tests definitely do help, right? And now that Star Citizen 3.24.1 is out of the door, which did include some of the major features that we were expecting for 3.24. Now that it's finally there will be a 3.24.2, of course, and that one is going to be including mostly ships, right, the new MFDs, but it's not going to be technology heavy. It's going to be bringing a couple of hot fixes, maybe further slight optimization, but that's really going to be it. So now that this is out of the door, we can see that they are really focusing on refining server meshing. That's why we have these tests, and with each of these tests, they are collecting the data that players are bringing to CIG by playing the game, which is invaluable for the studio. And we are seeing that they are improving each time there's a new test. Now there's a new iteration, new tests that are coming in. We see that with the RMQ, right, which is now fully available in 3.24.1. We've seen so Benoit Beauséjour is giving us regular updates, and they're getting better and better, but they're still not there yet, right? I think that really the breakthrough for server meshing is going to be when they will be able to bring those missions from 1 server to another, and when that's going to be the case, then that's when server meshing is, in my opinion, I think going to be ready for mass deployment in Star Citizen, which is when we are going to be having 1 server. It's like dynamic server meshing, right? Static server meshing, 1 server, 1 star system, 1 server, 1 star system. That's the first thing that we're going to have. But what we are testing here is dynamic server meshing. So one little area is 1 server. We can travel to another little area, which is another server. That's what we're testing. And once they can get missions transferred from one area to another, that is when dynamic server meshing will be able to make its way to the PU. But that's still going to be taking some time. Ah, the Gladius. Oh, that noise is so annoying. Now there were some concerns on Spectrum about whether or not the noise should be removed, what to do with it, and CIG said that they want to keep the pulp, right? They want things that are happening in their hangar to be an event, so that's why they have those noises, right? They're not going to remove them. Maybe they're going to tune them down a little bit, right, to make sure it's not that noisy, not that annoying, but they're going to stay, guys.
Aegis combat system activated. Systems green. Launch complete.
All right, so once the hangar take off, Oh, so they are going to be flying from one area to another probably, and maybe changing servers, I suppose. And we can see all the wrecks, all the people. Come on, it's okay, you can go a little bit faster. Here we go, just like that.
Landing gear rejected.
I love the sounds it starts to descend, right? You can hear the afterburner like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's at least 7 players out there flying above new babs. A couple of wrecks as well down the comments. That's normal, right? People are still stopping by the comments. That's a lot of ships. This is something that is really something that CIG needs to fix as well. It's all those names out there, right? The interface needs to have a rework. It wouldn't be the first time, but it might not be the last time as well. But now that server meshing is out there, we need to have a rework of the interface so that we don't get to see all this information. Can you imagine you got 100 people around you like that? This is a test with 500 people. You had 100 people around you. That's 100 names. That's on your screen. Can you imagine all the stress that it's bringing here to your GPU and your RAM, right? It is definitely going to be tanking performances here. And maybe there can be an option, right? CIG only putting the names on screen of the people who are interacting with us. That means that they are fighting with us, or if we are targeting them, then the name is showing. But if you're not doing anything with them, there would just be no name, just their ship flying around. It's only if we're targeting them that we could see whether it's a player or not. I think that, in my opinion, that could be a nice solution. Oh, look at that. That is a lot of wrecks or abandoned ships. It's cool. Player traffic is a thing. Is that a reclaimer? Oh my gosh, there's a reclaimer. Some couple of C2 Herculeses. This is great. Yeah, flying above the comments, right? By the way, great footage here from CarbonPixel. As a long-time content creator, I've been making videos for quite some time now. Starting doing that in 2018. It's not easy to make decent footage like that and editing it in a video. So yeah, everybody out there, if you're enjoying this, make sure to check out CarbonPixel. I'll put the link to their video in the comment section down below. Wow. Okay, at Tressler now. That is a lot of capital ships out there. That is some crazy traffic. You know, just people doing stuff, waiting for pads to be available, ships that are just parked there or abandoned. And the frames per second is not so bad, actually. Right, you would think that the frames per second would be terrible, but it's actually quite okay. It's just that you have those names everywhere. It's just not something that that's very optimized. A little bit of jankiness and desync, of course. That's something that is going to be expected. I'm in awe when I see that. I wished I could have seen that, and that the test was not in the middle of the night. And you know, look at all those 890 gems. There's at least 4 890 gems out there, which raises the question: how are we going to do when server meshing is here, when all these people will be playing all together? how are we going to do with those stations if there are only 2 ports and it takes forever to dock at one of those ports? CIG absolutely needs to update and upgrade the facilities of the game to get the game ready for server meshing. As of right now, there's no way the game is ready for server meshing, which is really interesting because it's going to be one of those cases where technology is going to be ahead of the game. We've been in many situations in which the game was ahead of the technology, right? And they've been creating all those kinds of new gameplay, those new features, but hey, server meshing was missing, so we can't release that, or it's only a tier 0 because for tier 1 or tier 2 we need server meshing. Well, how many times have we heard that? We've heard that plenty of times. Now with server meshing, we're getting into a case where server meshing is going to be a problem because the game is not ready for server meshing. Right? There are not going to be enough hangar doors. There are not going to be enough docking ports. We saw the tram earlier, right? With all the people going in and outside of the tram. There's not going to be enough time to get in and out of the tram before the tram eventually leaves. So that's also something that CIG needs to figure out, right? Is all those situations in which there are going to be a lot of players. How are we going to be managing this? Because yeah, sure, in the future, players are going to be split into multiple star systems, right? But for the time being, we only have one star system, which is Stanton. We are only going to have Pyro, which is going to be the second one. But still, even with 2 star systems, it's still going to be a very limited amount of space, especially if we end up in situations where there are going to be 1,000 players per shot, right? Which is going to be probably the next part of this video. This is so cool. By the way, one thing that's not cool is the green space. This looks so bad. My gosh, CIG, why did they do that? I don't know, I've been ranting about the green space for such a long time. People say, oh yeah, but with the green space we can see the ships better. Yeah, maybe there's better lighting. Maybe we can see the ships a little bit better. But it ruins, for me, it ruins the immersion. I think that space looked so much better before. So much more realistic, so much more beautiful, right? Than just this here with this green seaweed looking soup. That ruins everything. I really don't like it. Oh, somebody rammed that A-net jump. Okay, that's supposed to be 6 servers, 1,000 servers. Oh, I wished I was there. Oh yeah, oh, the frames per second are not so great. Yeah, oh, oh! Oh! I was not expecting that. She died. They died just when the tram was leaving. Oh no. That's so funny. Well, these things happen. Great recap. That's awesome, right? And it shows you can do a cool video without necessarily talking of it. Right, 5,000 views. Really cool, CarbonPixel. That's awesome. Keep it up. You're doing great. And looking forward to seeing what you are going to be doing, right? Anyway, that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let's do this here.